welcome. We are so excited to have you guys with us today. We are looking forward to learning a little bit more about precision organics and both of you as you go through your journey with the Cleantech Challenge. I think to start off, I would love it if you guys would introduce yourselves, tell us who you are, what program or degree you're pursuing right now, and where you're from.
My name is Tylen Burton. I'm a student at PCC right now. Next term, I'm transferring to PSU to get my bachelor's in biology. I'm from Portland, Oregon. I'm an artist, an environmentalist, a scientist, and I'm really excited to be exploring mushroom bioproducts in this competition.
Howdy, I'm Chris Larson. I'm pursuing a degree in mechanical engineering at Portland State. I'm originally from Livermore, California. Very passionate about design and engineering and hopefully designing a better world.
Well, it's great to get to know you both. And so, we'd really love to know, how did you learn about the Cleantech Challenge? How did you decide to take precision organics in this direction of joining, competing in Cleantech Challenge?
Okay, so I heard about the competition through a friend who connected Chris and I, and he proposed the idea of an alternative biomaterial. And I thought it was a really great idea because being a small business owner myself, I've faced problems with the packaging dilemma. There's a lot of like paper packaging, but there's nothing really on the market for completely biodegradable packaging. So in good conscience, as a small business owner, I couldn't send out my products with packaging that I knew was going to degrade the environment. So that way we came up with the idea of mushroom plastics to replace like styrofoam, petroleum based plastics. I just thought it was a really great opportunity. And if I have the ability to take advantage of an opportunity like this, I feel like it is kind of my responsibility to explore it.
That's awesome. Well, that leads me to my next question. So, tell us more about your innovation, what you're working on for the Cleantech Challenge.
We were taking mycelium spores or mycelium growth, and we're hoping to be able to make a packaging material out of it, essentially like the kind of styrofoam corners you see that like pretty much any object you buy from Amazon or whatever comes packaged in if it needs to be protected. We'd like to replace the styrofoam with a biodegradable alternative, and eventually, we're starting with the little corners, but eventually, if the project is sustainable, it would be nice to venture into other forms of packaging and replacing other non-biodegradable products with our mycelium.
That's really cool to look at what you can develop now. It has so much growth and so much change. I really can't wait to see how this ends up. But as you're diving into this, what do you think is really the most important problem that you're trying to solve with this initial ideation or this initial prototype? What's the core of your development, your research right now?
Just replacing petroleum-based plastic, like a packaging material, with a biodegradable alternative, I think, if I put it in a sentence.
So as you're going through this, what's the big challenge or obstacles that you foresee really having to overcome as you're working through your initial prototype?
I really think it's the medium that we're choosing to grow the mushrooms on. We're experimenting. Mushrooms can grow on so many different mediums like straw or bark dust or even plastic. There's like 50 different kinds of mushrooms that can decompose plastic. So we're looking at some of those. Right now we're just experimenting with all the different types of mediums. It gives room for so many different opportunities of exploration. However, that gives us the problem of narrowing it down and deciding which is not only the best option for like economically. Most mediums that they grow on are like trash and agricultural waste. So it's really easy to acquire them, but then we have to think about like locally what's available, what's the most economical, what will provide us with the most structural integrity. Just testing everything and narrowing it down is our biggest problem right now.
It seems like that's almost a great problem to have. You both come from very different backgrounds and disciplines. Talk to us about how you connected with one another, how you formed the team, and why you are such a great partnership.
I think the different backgrounds are a benefit. If we were all mechanical engineers or all studying biology, like it would be pointless because we'd all be trying to do the same thing. But this way, it allows us to sort of separate out the roles. Like I try to focus more on like figuring out how like we're gonna press the molds and stuff. And Tylen does everything, but she's mainly focused on like growing the mycelium and figuring out which mediums would be best.
That's awesome. We do call this the Cleantech Challenge. And as you know, your innovations need to create an impact, whether that is for the environment or other parts of your community. Do you feel like it is the next generation's responsibility to help protect the planet? And how are you doing that even beyond this project?
I think it is extremely important that if you have the privilege, if you have the ability, the know-how, the passion to do something for the environment, I think it's almost a requirement of being human right now in our day and age. I can get so passionate about this. There's so much we have done as humans that is so exciting, and we have so much technology that we are creating, and it's beautiful and amazing. However, we have a tendency to overindulge, and I don't know if that's human nature or if that's something we've been trained to do, but I think it's time to untrain ourselves. Like right now, I feel like I'm so blessed to have this opportunity to actually make an impact in the environment. I feel like I foresee our product going far and like actually making an impact in the industry that really needs an impact made. There's like 300 million metric tons of plastic being poured into the ocean every year, which is about the equivalent of the entire weight of the human population across the world. And we're not slowing down with COVID and like world globalization. People are getting things shipped to them rather than going out, which is really nice and convenient for us, but not for the environment. So it's really difficult to not be a consumer in our world. Like I buy things that are wrapped in plastic, I drive my car, I take flights. I'm contributing to the problem. So I need to also be contributing to the solution. I think if you have the ability to contribute to the solution, it is our responsibility to do so.
I hope that every team in the challenge shares your passion and your convictions. And actually that leads me to another great question. What, if anything, would you like to see the other student innovators putting forward in regards to being environmentally conscious, not just with their end innovations, but through their entire process of prototyping?
I'm not really sure what all the other teams are working on. I'm really excited to see. And I just really hope that everyone really has in mind like something that will give tangible environmental impact. I think it would probably be better more on the short term. So like immediate short term environmental impacts. It's obviously important to, if you're creating a business, then it's likely you want to have an income. But my motivation is to fix the environment. And I just really hope that everybody has fixing the environment or making a tangible impact higher on their priority list than making $1. Because, in the end, what's a few dollars if our world is dying?
No, that's really beautiful. Very well said. So going back to this being a competition amongst your fellow students, what are you hoping that you're getting out of the Cleantech Challenge on a personal level?
I think it'll be exciting to connect with the other innovators, see what they're doing. It's always nice to be introduced to other ideas and other people's ways of approaching sort of the same base issue. And it'll be nice to talk to people, in the industry or that are interested in clean tech.
I agree with Chris. I'm so excited to go and meet everybody and see everybody's ideas, everybody's perspectives. Like, I think the biggest thing you can have in an industry or in a university or even just in a community is like open sharing of ideas. You know, we are social animals. It's crazy how many ideas that one person can have. And every time I talk to somebody, it's crazy like how much more perspective, how much more knowledge I gain from one individual. So if we all come together and we all have different backgrounds, we all have different passions, we all have different things that we're working on, imagine the knowledge that you could bring together and what solutions that we could come up with if we all just decide it's a really good idea to work together, which I think it is.
I think your sentiment carries throughout a lot of other teams as well. That's fantastic, or at least I hope it does. So we have one more question before we wrap up and leave you for the day. What is the most important thing you want the judges to understand about precision organics? What sets you guys apart in this competition?
I think what sets us apart is that, again, I don't really know all the details of the other teams, but I know that we have a physical, tangible product that we're trying to create that fills a clear gap in the market. And it's really easily scalable. I mean, the mushrooms do the growing for you. Really, there's so much opportunities. Like mushroom products are just beginning to take off. Like there's mushroom leathers, there's mushroom bricks, there's so many different properties that we can take advantage of that are just beginning to be discovered. So like we have one specific idea for our product, but there's endless opportunities for it to be tweaked, for it to be refined, and it's really easy to take off. And I'm just really excited for the possibilities. I think just with like a little bit more space and a little bit more funding, I'm so excited to see where this could go.
That is excellent. I can't thank you guys enough for being with us today. I personally am really excited to see what you guys bring to the table at the finals. Yeah, I can't wait to see how you guys grow over the next few weeks. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you
us.
so much for having us.